Hey everybody, welcome to Redeemer and to this Wednesday reflection recorded on Thursday. I want to talk to you about our mutual ministry review. The first thing I want to talk about is the survey, the ministry quiz itself. And then I'm going to share with you a reflection that my friend, the Reverend C.J. Metters, wrote about his church in Ridgeland, Mississippi, at St. Columns. So stick with me through both little parts of this video so that I can tell you what we're doing, why we're doing it, and why it is so vitally important. So here we go. First things first, let's dive straight into the quiz. Whoops, it's the wrong thing. There we go. All right, so first things first, either go to our church's website, redeemerbrookhaven.com, and click on this big purple box, and it'll take you to the Ministry Match quiz. I'm also going to put a link to this quiz directly in the description. So look in the description, click on that link. What you'll find here is a 2 to 3 minute survey that's going to ask you for basic contact information and then simple questions. You just click a bubble. How fulfilling is it for you to serve behind the scenes? How skilled are you at making repairs to buildings? How easily do you understand what people are feeling? How enjoyable do you find to meet new people? How fulfilling is it for you to serve out in the community? Do you like playing or singing music? These are all skill-based things, whether they are interests of yours or skills you have, and you can be as honest with the survey as possible. Meaning, if you have absolutely no desire to play or sing music, put yourself at not at all. Or if you're kind of middling about it, maybe not so fulfilled or not so skilled. Everything, the more honest you are with yourself, the better the results on our end will be. Why are we collecting this information? Well, if you notice on the survey, it's not specific questions like, do you want to be in the choir? Do you want to play music? Do you want to be in the altar guild? Those are ways to express certain skills, and that's why we're asking the questions in this way. Because it's not just about the worship ministries and the guilds that we have, like the altar guild, the readers, the ushers, the acolytes, the bakers who do the church bread. It's not just about those worship activities. What Redeemer is so good at is not just worship, but also community service. And so identifying ways that we can plug people into our already established ministries is vital, but also is identifying ministries that we didn't know we could even offer. Let's say, for example, a strong number of people identify highly with repairing buildings and things like that. Fixing things. And let's say we hear about a community member down the street, your neighbor has a limb go through her window. Well, we can just mobilize some people who can walk over there and reglaze her window. Or provide lawn care for an elderly person or someone who recently maybe broke their leg. Those are ways we can just immediately put people toward good use, and they're doing that work in the name of Christ. It's amazing. That's what I want this ministry match quiz to produce. More active, dedicated members of our established guilds and outreach ministries and whatnot, but also to identify new ways that we can serve the community at large. Now, why are we doing this? Well, because C.J. Metters was responding to an article he wrote, and in so doing created an excellent reflection that I'd like to read. Pardon me for committing the terrible sin of reading something that you can read on a screen, but I feel it's just worth getting through. This is the Reverend C.J. Metters. I recently read an essay on the decline of church attendance. Yeah, that thing. The essay suggested that the major contributing factor to the decline is a shift in attitude The writer described this shift by paraphrasing JFK's famous speech. Too often we ask what our church can do for us more than we ask what we can do for the church. What gets a spot on the calendar? Well, for many, that question turns into more questions like, well, what do I get out of it? Or what's in it for me? Fair. Although the church used to be among things that was required, it has become less and less so. Plus, with increasing demands on our time and energy, what we get out of it better be good, or what's the point? If church is just another thing demanding my time and energy, then it can be the first to go. Fair. So churches have responded with the attitude by becoming a valuable product, or I would also add maybe a value-added product, possibly. This is what you'll get out of this. If you sign up now, you'll get this, and for 2 installments of $29.95, plus these jumper cables. All right, I'm kidding. What can you get out of church now is entertainment. Something for everyone in your family to do, a spiritual boost of self-help mixed with a dose of preferred ideological agenda. I would agree. Thus, the experience of your average churchgoer is mostly passive. One is invited to come, to be entertained, and then get back to the next thing on the calendar. I can identify with that. And that's precisely that passivity that worries me, this is CJ, the most, because it would mean the loss of the church volunteer. Churches are organizations that could not and should not exist without the work of volunteers. At a church like St. Colum's, most of the church events you attend are not put on by paid staff, but by those who have volunteered their time. You can see that at work in every Sunday service, where volunteers have set up the altar, donned liturgical robes, and put sign-ups in the narthex for the next event on the church calendar. Outside our walls, we offer meaningful volunteer work with the Iona House to feed the hungry and serve Christ in others. The irony is that when you ask any volunteer why they do the work they do, they most will describe what they get out of it. And that's what Christians have been saying for millennia. To give is to receive. To give is to receive. When you sacrifice your time and energy towards something that has a meaningful impact, the reward is life-giving. To be honest, it doesn't always hit that way, but when it hits different. So, perhaps in response to the shift toward more self-interested activities, the church can do less repackaging itself as an entertainment product for the whole family and do more of what it's really about, offering life-giving, transformational ministry in the name of the risen Christ. Any volunteers? Yes, CJ nails it. It's perfect. And that's exactly the same energy that started this ministry match quiz process for me months ago. I've been working on this since August. And I think this is the right step to identify and energize and put people into ways they can live in Christian community. Because to give is to receive. That's the foundation of what we do. Because walking the Christian walk, living a life of a Christ follower, can be done alone. Solitary hermetical monks and hermits have been doing it for hundreds of years, but most monastics live in a community and do their work in that community. And we, as people who come to this building to sit in those pews and to worship God together, are doing it because of the community. And so COVID really wrecked a lot of our community offerings, one, because we couldn't come to them, or it made it real easy to not schedule them in certain ways. So, for example, Sunday school just stopped. We tried to bring it back on Sundays, was not the energy wasn't behind it. It wasn't well received. Everyone asked many people asked to have it moved to Wednesdays at 6 p.m., which is what we've done, but then that precludes many people with school-age children from coming because that's supper and bedtime for a lot of younger people. We tried reintroducing the coffee hours on Sundays for some fellowship, for some fun and laughs, but people walk in, do church, and then walk right back out. Yes, I completely get. We need to get to lunch on time. I'm one of those people, but I would love to see more just casual conversation and gathering before church. If that means doing a Christian Ed Sunday school type thing before church on Sunday, that'd be great. If that means adding a Wednesday morning Eucharist, a midweek Eucharist, where people like have coffee cake and chit chat afterwards, let's do that too. This requires many different kinds of things that will meet many different needs. And again, I'm describing entertainment type things, so I'm immediately driving toward the thing that this article or that CJ's response is trying to break down. The real work of this quiz is to identify things we can do not only just for our family here in Redeemer, but in the greater community itself. So come volunteer. Volunteer for the worship services on Sunday and the other activities we have around that. Volunteer at Angel's Attic, the gem of our outreach. Volunteer for our food pantry. Volunteer to do something we haven't thought of yet. Come up with an idea if you'd like. Or if that just seems like a lot of different stuff, fill out the survey and help us decide where we can best put your kinds of interests, skills, and comfort levels. It's a really great way for us to put people in the work of Christ. To give is to receive. So please follow the link in the description or visit our website and click on that button. And please, 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 please fill out the survey. Thank you, and God bless.